going on, everybody? We got a ton of people in here today. We're going to have some fun. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. And we are live, of course, here on big old YouTube. And we got a ton of people in here today. We're going to have a ton watch us back later. If you're watching this back later, look down at the bottom. I will be scrolling questions at the bottom so you can kind of know where you want to jump around in the video. You see all the big old hats behind me. That's right. They're back in stock. So we're going to have some fun with those. We are going to do 2 giveaways today. If you want the hat, there's the QR code for the hat. We're going to do actually 3 giveaways today. At the end of the video, we're going to be doing a $100 gift card, 2 $100 gift cards to HolidayCoro's.com and a Patreon only giveaway. So if you can go to patreon.com, type in Christmas on Crestline, you can be eligible for today's merch giveaway. But without further ado, how you doing? What's going on today?
I'm doing great. It's a little warm. I think Christmas is eventually going to come, hopefully.
Fair enough. It's we just had got done with the Christmas Expo. I taught a couple classes there, and that's kind of the unofficial kickoff to the Christmas light decoration season. And we have a strong contingent in the chat. Let's do a quick roll call. I see we have a ton of great Christmas light fight folks in here today. What's up, Rob? Got Monty Small. Monty emailed me some questions to make sure he would get the answers in case he couldn't be here today. So we got tons of questions for him. Mr. Frosty Snowman, what's going on? See Holiday Coro. Yep. Type in hashtag Holiday Coro, just like Yes Okay did. And at the end of the video, that will make you eligible for the giveaway. Hey, everyone, what's up, Josh? See here, John tuning in. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Giatano tuning in there. Hey, look, Jim's here. I crack up every time I see Jim in here. Let's see who else we got here. Coming in from South Africa, we got Dylan. Typing in Holiday Coro from Florida. Kurt from Clear Christmas Cables. I'm so behind on our Discord chats here today. Very nice. The Ultimate. What's up, The Ultimate? There's that house on Hollybrook. They're at the Christmas Expo with us. We got Braden tuning in from New Zealand. We got the Townsend Christmas light folks coming in from the plains of Kansas. We got Scott. Brian Michaels, another great Christmas light fight alumni. We got a ton of folks in here today. I appreciate you tuning in. So for the folks who live under a rock and don't know who you are, can you tell them who you are and what you do?
I am David Moore. I started Holiday Coro in 2008, and today I have a whole group of people that run really most of Holiday Coro, but I still work in sales, technical support, and kind of run the high-level pieces of Holiday Coro.
Very awesome. So folks that don't know anything at all about you, other than what you just said, what's a fun fact about you that folks might find interesting?
So probably what you wouldn't, I'm not an artistic person, but I've been to Burning Man 3 times back. That was back in my 20s and 30s, nice. Back before it got like massive. Right. And I actually won the Houston Art Car Parade. So in Houston, where we live, and Holiday Coro is stationed, we have a 300-car art car parade. These are all kinds of crazy cars, you name it. Just like people with stuff stuck on them, welded, crazy contraptions. So one year I decided, I think I'm going to see if I can win this, and built some really crazy stuff. Got on TLC, like one of the building shows back in the. Yeah. This is back when it was really popular. Back, back in the. I'm really kind of old, early 2000s.
Back in the olden days.
Yeah, the olden days. The aughts.
The aughts. Like, who was it? Conan O'Brien. In the year 2000. Back to the future. So, yeah, that's awesome. Now, what I'm going to challenge everybody to do real quick is to open up a second tab on whatever laptop or hardtop, tabletop, your computer you're on, and open up HolidayCoro.com, because if you haven't been there, they offer a ton. So other than HolidayCoro.com, where can folks find you at on social media? If they want information from you, where do they go?
Sure. So we're primarily on Facebook. So like if we have a post or a sale or something going on outside of our mailing list, you'll find it on Facebook, Holiday Coro /Holiday Coro on Facebook. And we also have a Facebook support group. That's official support group. And if you have any questions, we are in there. A lot of our really top customers are in there. They'll answer your questions. And then we have hundreds of videos on YouTube, just about everything. Hard part is probably actually finding the videos because we have so many of them on there.
Yeah, the I do appreciate that YouTube has a search button. So if you have a specific thing you want to know, just type that in there. Um, there's a ton to do on HolidayCoro.com. Can you give us an overview of what you offer on your website for your business?
So we're kind of we try to be a one-stop shop for mostly focused on RGB lighting. We do some legacy lighting, legacy being like 120 volts, that kind of stuff, because that's where we got our start originally, is in non-RGB. My history goes back to my first Ladderama controller back in 2000. Geez, a long time ago. Um, and so we try to be a one-stop shop. Coro, controllers,
Hmm.
mounting hardware, pixels, cables, you name it, we do it. And in addition to that, we have a
Hmm.
lot of stuff that's stocked on the website. And a lot of people have no idea that we make a huge amount of this stuff custom. So we have two
Hmm.
facilities, warehouse, production, all that stuff, and then another building that just does production with printing, UV printing, and CNC machines, and laser cutting, and 3D printing. And so we do a lot of highly customized work, mostly with commercial customers, because that stuff is very demanding. And
Hmm.
but there's pretty much everything. We try to be as much as possible.
So I have in the chat, Townsend, Dwayne is asking, Townsend Christmas show, is the giveaway international? Do you ship internationally, or are you just American, North America? What do you do?
Well, we used to ship to the UK. I mean, I'm sorry, to the EU, and then some of the
Okay.
rules changed around shipping to the EU. So now we ship only to the UK. We will use a reshipper because there's some legal requirements now shipping to
Mhm.
to the EU regions. Most other countries we ship to, we ship a lot of product to Australia, New Zealand, Canada. We've sold product everywhere from Saudi Arabia to the northern
Nice.
reaches of Canada. So if there's something not showing up on the website, or you're not sure how to get that product to you, sometimes international logistics can be a little more complex, based on the country they're in. Just tell them to reach out to us, big contact us, link in the corner, and we'll be happy to work with them.
Very, very cool. The Ultimate say he's looking forward to the new site and new product releases.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we realize we need a new website. When when your mom's telling you the website's a little pathetic, David, you really need to get a new website. Yeah, I get it. We've been on the same system for 16 years, and in 16 years, it's sort of like living in a house.
Mhm.
You get everything built around it. We do a whole bunch of automation. So, for example, when you have a controller you bought from us, you may notice it has a little label with all your information on it, and how just exactly what your order is, how it's created, what the warranty is, who built it, everything. Well, all that's integrated back in with a website. Well, the people who are migrating our website say, yeah, no problem. We'll have that done by May or June. Not a problem. Well, then June ran into July, and they're like, I'm pretty sure we
Yeah.
can do it by August. And then they said, too darn complicated. So we are going to then eventually migrate it. They've got probably 90% of it. It's just there's a lot of
Mhm.
complexity of moving something that's so automated and so complex. And this new website
Gotcha.
integrates with our automated box machine equipment, and it changes the way we compensate employees and a whole bunch of other factors.
Okay.
So it's not just what customers see. We're trying to build an operating system that handles everything of Holiday Coro. That also is
Nice.
going to allow us to push out products to all the other platforms, eBay, Amazon, and everything else. So you're going to be able to
Mhm.
have platform choice. So I know one of the things people are probably going to ask are, when are we releasing these like 800 new props? Should be in the next day or two. I know
Ooh.
personally I've been working on it, and so there's some really weird props. If you like cats, dogs, weird spinners,
Nice.
cat, you name it, we got it. And they will all be priced at below market pricing right now. So like if you're buying a prop for $40, it's probably closer to 25. So very
Nice.
low cost.
So next day or two, so the next 24, 48, 72 hours, folks, HolidayCoro.com.
Hmm.
And for folks that don't know, because maybe they've just never purchased anything from you, you're kind of a one-stop shop. If you need a hardware, if you need software, if you need training tools, you offer kits, packages, boards. You offer all
Hmm.
of it. Dumb pixels, smart pixels, kind of everything, right?
We try to be as one-stop shop as possible.
Mm-hmm.
We don't carry every single thing, and so there's some cases where people have esoteric needs, but we pretty much carry everything for most common displays for both residential and commercial. And if we don't have it directly, especially like on the commercial side, we'll produce
Mm-hmm.
these products or source them and then modify them. So we have a lot of resources in that area.
And you also offer mounting units, which a lot of folks don't offer mounting cables or supplies, hardware. What kind of got you into say, hey, we need to offer this service?
uh, Customers got us into it. They asked for it. I mean, it's one thing, it's easy to import a load of pixels. It's a lot more
Mm,
complicated to sell all the stuff that you need to actually make that come to fruition. So it's great if you've got pixels, but if you're building a mega tree, you need the mounting strip, you need it in the
yeah,
spacing that really works best for you. You need a topper, you need all the little parts and pieces and zip ties and little whatevers, right? And
yeah,
so we try to carry as much of that as possible. And we're going to be expanding some of those operations to make it even more complete so that you don't have to go get a pole from Home Depot or something in the future. So we are always trying to
yeah.
expand that area. Some of the areas that we're really good at on that area, if you're doing house outlines, we carry pixel track, we carry pixel pipe. So if you're trying to build something to outline your house or do, pipes or, uh,
Mm-hmm.
exploding stars, that kind of stuff, we have all those different kinds of things.
Yeah, Steve's tuning in saying he's been buying stuff from you since 2015.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We have had it's amazing. So we in this business we have I believe it's 63% repurchase rate. So if a
Nice.
customer purchased 2023, they're 63% likely to repurchase this year. And so that means that you need to treat your customers well. You need to have
Yeah.
product that keeps on lasting. I do sometimes wonder if a product lasts too long because we call them and like, nope, everything's working great. That stuff I brought 6 years ago, still humming along, no problems at all. So you have to treat them well with support and warranty, those types of things. And so
Yeah.
we really work to make sure that our customers keep coming back to us because this is a hobby that people grow on and expand year over year. And if they don't have a good experience with the product, the timing, the support, whatever it is that's important to them, they won't come back to you. And that's a big part of our business. So.
Fair enough. Laura saying she guess she could add pixels and have everything in her display. She also does projection mapping in her show. Um, but it's not just pixels that you offer props for. You have props for mini lights.
Yeah, so sometimes we have. This used to be more so the case back, maybe 10 years ago, where people were still legacy lights. Had a lot of mini lights. You had bushes full of lights. They had lights around, like icicles around their house, and pixels still weren't quite as cheap. Um, I still honestly think that if you've got some of those legacy lights, they add a lot of volume because pixels are very. If you think of an analogy of a woman, you've got a dress and that forms the basis of an outfit, right? But then you've got
Hmm.
jewelry that's a real like bang, it's really amazing but you can't have a whole bunch of it, right? So pixels
Yeah.
can be like that. If you can't afford
Mm.
to have pixels for everything, which often, is the case, mini lights can form that backdrop. So maybe you put arches out in the front that are full pixel, but then you just layer up those bushes in your front yard with cheap mini lights from Walmart nets or something
Yeah.
like that, right? So we still do a lot of integration. We still sell props for mini lights, and we also sell receivers, both long range smart receivers for AC and also controllers for AC. So
Mhm.
we still support those markets, and we can run them integrated. So you can have legacy lights rolling right along and beat into the same
Mhm.
thing that you got your pixels in, all with
If you
modern
folks are,
technology.
oh yeah. If you folks are curious, for my Christmas in July extravaganza series, I did a review about HolidayCoro's Tune to sign. So if you guys are curious what that looks like in person in a practical setting, you can watch that video. That kind of answers what Kurt was asking. Has anyone ever stuck AC lights into your RGB Coro prop holes?
No, not that I know of, or at least not without a hole. Unless they did it with a whole lot of hot glue. So those holes are two different sizes. So a mini
Yeah.
light typically is 0.1875, and a standard 12 millimeter pixel. The base of that is around 0.45 inches. So they're vastly different sizes. So they're really not compatible. And if you ever had a need, so for example, we have commercial customers doing drive-through parks and stuff, and they
Yes.
want a prop that's just available in pixels, but they want to put it in the pattern of a mini light with our pattern, but with mini lights, and we'll be happy to adapt that because again, we have an entire production facility next door that we can make all that stuff for you custom.
You brought up custom. Tell us about custom. If someone says, "Hey, I've got this residential display. Maybe it's not even a. Maybe it's not like a drive-through. Maybe it's just residential. I want to work with you guys completely. Is that something they work with you, with an employee? Talk to us about when someone wants a custom order.
Sure. Actually, we're one of the few people that do actual real custom things. And it is our preference to help customers because a customer that gets help from us up front is going to get the right items. We almost always can do it for less expensive, less expense than the customer does it, and it also saves us. It is a little bit self-fulfilling because it saves us from the customer on the back end having to return, oh, I didn't know that wasn't compatible, I didn't know how that worked, or having to make multiple orders. We obviously want to pack everything in the fewest number of orders possible, and we also want customers to have a great experience. So when they pull all that stuff out, they're not going, well, I guess I should have known to bought this or that or these cables, or I got the wrong size spacing on the pixels. And I see that all the time with multi-vendor purchases. They're buying a few pixels from
Yeah,
Amazon. They bought a controller over here. They bought the mount over here. They bought the strip over here. And then they're trying to combine it all together. And if you're really experienced and you know all the nuances, that's not a problem. But if you don't know it, you're going to, I see so many customers should just reach out to us, go up to the top, do the chat, contact us. We have a phone number with people that
yeah.
actually answer it. That'll listen to what you want to build, listen to what your budget is, and we'll capture all that and we'll provide you the most amazing quote you've gotten. Right, like it will be a video showing you every product we select, how we selected it, what the parts go with it. And so you'll have a custom YouTube video along with every single item in your cart. Uh, and we not only give that to you at no cost, we guarantee it on the first revision. So if you make like 3 revisions, it gets a little dicier.
Oh,
Uh,
right.
First revision, free, and it's guaranteed. So in other words, if we said, oh, we should have put the cables in there, we forgot to put them in there, and that was an obvious mistake on our part, not something a customer left out, we will
Hmm.
send them to you free. We've sent whole controllers. Oh man, we totally forgot to add that, and we should have
Yeah.
added. Okay. Well, it's our fault. Um, and of course, that obviously puts the onus on us to make sure we do an absolute good
Hmm.
job on our end right up front, and that you're a happy customer. And speaking
Hmm.
of custom, all that stuff we can custom make because there's so many options. We are working on some solutions to make things a lot simpler in a
Hmm.
project we've been working on for several years, and we've got some new hardware that we're working on now. But we do have a lot of customized products, like the controllers can be customized for every single board, how many power supplies, how many outputs, all these things. So let us help you. We won't give you anything more
Yeah.
than you need, and we'll give you everything exactly for what you need.
So, because we're all weird in this holiday hobbyist extreme industry, we're all going to want to add later. So it's custom now, but in 2 years, I got a new dark spot over here. I need to fill it. Can they come back and work with the same person or add to that customization in a way that is flawless?
Yeah, so everything we do is documented. It's not nothing's ad hoc here. So that YouTube video that we gave you the quote for the first year, we leave it up. We'll just go back to it. We have everything in a ticketing system. So we have a pretty advanced customer service management system. And so we have all that recorded. We have all your prior orders. And so if a customer says, well, I had this stuff last year, we just look up what their old orders
Hmm.
and say, oh, okay, great. I see you have this controller. I see you have this CPU. I see you have this long range. Oh, you want to add, snowflakes, some candy canes, a house outline. Well, here are the parts you need to make that happen.
Looks like you have a ton of fans here. Said he bought one of your stuff boxes. Every single pixel has worked so far perfectly.
Uh,
Awesome.
well, I could see he's a ham radio guy, it looks like. So I'm sorry to disappoint you. You didn't get to pull out your soldering iron. But so we have what are called stuff boxes. So throughout the year, we have products that get returned. and it's not cost effective for us to test every single thing. Or Coro comes back from
Mhm.
production, it's got a damaged part, or somebody squishes it, and it's still functionally fine. And so we throw all these things into Gaylords in the warehouse in an area, and then usually towards the end of the year, we'll just put them all together into what we call stuff boxes, and we gather like items. And that's what he's referring to. It's just basically big boxes of super cheap pixels. Like we're talking 10, 20 cents on the dollar.
And he's not the only one. Steve says he also loves your stuff boxes. They're pretty popular. Um, very cool.
Yeah, they usually sell out within. It's funny because we'll post them because we put a video of what's actually in the box. We make a video showing what we're putting in each box and
Hmm.
describing each product if we have the part number and all that. Uh, we don't even have to advertise it. And usually within about 30 minutes of posting the videos on YouTube, just the people on the channel, they've already bought up probably a quarter of them in just a few minutes. So yeah, they're very popular.
Very cool. We got some folks tuning in a little bit late. What's up, Charlie? Hey, put in hashtag Coro, Coro, and that'll get you entered for the giveaway we will do at the end of the video. It's two $100 gift cards to HolidayCoro.com. And again, I challenge you folks, open up another tab. We're not going to get angry that you're shopping while you're listening to us talk. Budgets. Does anyone have budgets in this hobby? Well, we always add to it. We always add to it.
Uh,
Let's
I'll
see
I'll
here.
say something about budgets. So,
Yeah.
budgets. So when we're custom quoting customers, whether it's commercial customers or residential customers, we almost always will ask for budget. And I get it's
Okay.
almost like the car dealer saying, "Well, what's your number?" Right? We're not like that. We're not
Yeah.
trying to. What we're trying to do when we ask for a budget is we're trying to understand what kind of scale you have, because we deal with customers that are purchasing hundreds of thousands of dollars of product and customers purchasing $500 worth of project. And we are happy to do all those range, but it's frustrating for us and sometimes the customer, where we assume that you're at a $3,000 budget and you're at a $500 budget. Well, that just won't work. And then we have to redo the whole process. So
Mhm.
whenever we do special quote or custom quotes, we will do a scoping process. And then we'll say, oh, okay, do we understand all your needs? We want this mega tree. It needs to be this height. And we'll usually give you some numbers up front. Okay, this mega tree is $800 with a control and everything. And so you can
Mhm.
kind of know if we have a budget, what that allows us to do is usually we work up into the budget. So, for example, mega trees are a
Okay.
fine option, especially on the commercial side. Somebody says, I want to spend $5,000 on a mega tree. That's perfect. You know what I do? I simply figure out what is the maximum number of pixels that we can put on that mega tree based on the requirements: 360, 180, a star, that kind of thing. And we just put
Yeah.
as much on there as possible within that budget range. Uh, we can also, of course, do it the other way. If you have a very defined need, like I want a 16 string, 50 pixel mega tree,
Oh,
not a problem. We can do that too. So budgets do help us quite a bit, and we are not trying to we're not trying to fleece you. We only want to work no more up into that budget, and so we want to respect the amount that you want to spend.
yeah, that's awesome. Again, it sounds like customization might be the way to go, except for especially for folks who are maybe jumping into the pixel side of things or into the animation side of things.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Brandon's tuning in from our Facebook Live portion. Just tuning in. Interested in some custom props for the first time. Traditional static display. Want to switch from wood cutouts to Coro cutouts. Do you
Sure.
offer custom Coro cutouts?
Sure. Now, I will caution that now we're about to release over 800 new props. So, in addition to the 100 we already had. So, there's a lot of weird stuff in there. If your need is that unusual, and again, we do have customers with very, very specific needs, that's something that nobody else will ever buy, and they've got to have it. Absolutely. It's typical
Mhm.
that a custom prop, let's say if you make just a single snowflake, it might cost on a regular store 15, 20, $25. That might cost $150 for just one. Now, the costs go down is, of course, if you produce lots, because once we make one,
Mhm.
the machine doesn't care. It makes a whole bunch more, and the material's not that expensive. So most of it is in the labor. Customization, we do encourage customers to come to us with a reasonable idea what they want, saying, well, I want a dog. Well, okay, do you want to breed a dog? Do you want a dog sitting up? Is the dog like
Yeah.
got pixels in his ears? I mean, what? So usually most customers come custom to us with an idea. But the more detail you can provide, the lower cost it's going to be, because we're going to have
Mm.
to iterate less. And if you're buying lots of something, it gets much more cost effective. In fact, some of our
Hmm.
commercial customers actually produce stuff cheaper than our retail stuff because they'll buy 100 snowflakes and we make this
Oh,
custom
okay.
thing. And so it's, our machine, once we make it, we just cut a whole bunch all at one time. And so it's just cost of material plus labor.
See, as soon as you said 100 and it's going to be cheaper, I'm instantly thinking, okay, which of my neighbors can I talk into going on a bulk order with me? That's
Yeah.
what I'd be doing.
Yeah. So,
Chris is
oh, go
good.
ahead.
No, I was just say Chris is tuning in. She said she likes your website.
I'm glad she does. My mom doesn't.
See here. I'll catch up on the comments. Carl says he started with your ready to run pixel tree.
Number one starting place. And you just can't go wrong with a mega tree. Even one of the kits or something. One almost there's no $5,000 residential display that just doesn't have a mega tree. Okay, somebody's going to pipe up and put a comment in. I don't have one, but
Yeah.
almost every display's got a mega tree in it, right? Somewhere.
Mhm.
Um, and they're super easy. So we grade our products on a scale of 1 to 10 of complexity. So, for example, Singing Faces, 8
Mhm.
out of 10 complexity. House Outline, 8 or 9 out of 10 because it's a lot of customization. Mega trees are super easy. They only rank about a 3 out of 10. That they've got tons of sequences out there that are pre-made for them.
Mhm.
They're easy to build. There's no real soldering involved, so they're a great starting place. And then that controller, especially if you get it with something like long range built in and a controller that has a CPU that's expandable, that CPU and controller can then run everything else you add in the future. Because we got controllers that handle 80,000 pixels. So that can then serve as the
Yeah.
basis to run everything else. Megatree, definitely a good starting point.
Yeah, Carl was at the expo with us, and he bought a new 30-foot mega tree there from the showroom floor. So it fit in his car, which is awesome. He's a little worried about that, but that was great.
Uh-huh.
Coming out with a new website. It's going to be out in a couple of days. 800 new props. I got to ask you, what are you most looking forward to people seeing? Is there a particular prop out of that 800 that you're most excited about?
Well, I don't design the prop; somebody else does,
Okay.
and they have just kind of free reign. We give them. We asked some customers a while back, what do you want in props and this kind of stuff. Oh, I want some trains. I want some animals. I want, and so they focus some of their efforts in various different areas like that. But there is just you name it, trains, Jesus, Hanukkah, uh, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Valentine. There's some props that I even looked at and I go, okay, that's a pretty narrow market, but we'll just put it up there and we'll see what happens. There's some
Uh,
pretty unusual stuff.
and unusual is where it's at. I know we have a ton of blow mold guys in here. Brian Michaels from he was in the Great Christmas Light 5, huge blow mold guy. The more unique, the better. And I think the same is probably true with any Coro prop. The more unique, like dinosaurs are starting to become popular as props over the last probably 5 years. So the more unique, the better. It helps you stand out amongst the crowd.
We got your dinosaurs
Look at you.
and your
Well
TIE
played.
fighters and your
Ah,
Bluey
that's
and
awesome.
all that stuff.
So you brought up singing faces, and one of Monty's questions he wanted me to make sure I asked you is he has what he calls a Cape Cod roof. It's a steep roof on his home. He wants to illuminate some dark places. He wants to use some of your singing faces, your many singing faces. He's a static show, wants to maybe incorporate that your singing faces using your hardware, your software. Can you take us through someone who like Monty who wants to order that for your website? Is it a kit they can buy for singing faces? How do they animate it? Can you talk about that process?
So we actually don't even have a kit for Seeing Faces because they're
Okay.
so customized and done in so many different ways. Because we have Seeing Faces that are based on legacy lights, so AC based lights. Some customers just like that technology, feel comfortable with that, and we bait. So Holiday Coro over 17 years ago started the whole Coro punched hole thing. We didn't invent the entire
Mhm.
idea. There was a few people who came up with that beforehand that were doing it with soldering irons. We just automated it, and so we've been
Right.
doing all that, and we have plenty of those kinds of things from the past, like seeing faces in pumpkins, monsters, Christmas trees, all that uh, in
Mhm.
legacy and RGB. So I would say reach out to us because it's better, instead of just buying a package, we say, okay, do you plan to expand? And if so, we'll build out a control that has expansion capabilities. Do you also plan to put some snowflakes around here? Do so what are the other factors? We're also looking at, if he's putting something on his roof, usually you have to consider distance, like how far the cables are going to go, because we have limitations on
Mhm.
distance. And so those kinds of things, we're not even actually big fans of packages, because if you have anything even remotely outside the norm, these
Mhm.
packages don't work. So if you decide, oh, I'm going to spread out my singing faces with a gap of 20 feet between them, the package doesn't work anymore, because you got spacing issues, right? Um,
Mhm.
Maybe you want to put two faces on the left side of the lawn and two faces on the right side of the lawn. Totally requires a unique circumstance. So absolutely, just reach out to us. We're happy to help customers develop a solution that's specific to their needs.
So for mounting gear, what do you have I assume, I guess if I was a smart interviewer, I would have already researched this to know the answer before I ask. So for Monty's question for roofs, do you have mounting gear that does not damage the roof?
No, we don't sell. So we sell some things
Okay.
that mount to houses. So each house is going to be different. I think people don't
Hmm.
grasp how unique, even within the United States, housing is. So
Hmm.
we build a mega tree in Florida. The the dirt doesn't hold the stakes correctly, right? Because a lot of it's sandy,
Ah,
right? You'll get somebody in
yeah.
Austin, Texas, and they can't put stakes in the ground because it's too rocky. So each one of these is going to be different, and house structures are no different. California houses don't always have a lot of they have a lot of stucco, and they don't always have eaves. And so some roofs are tile in certain parts of the country, some are composite, some are metal. So absolutely, just reach out to us. If we don't have a solution, trust me, we have seen just about everything, and work with everybody on something. And so some of this may just require a trip to Home Depot, and you may not be aware that there's a simple solution to, let's say, mount that face on your roof.
Hmm.
And that's going to depend. That roof could be a 1 on 12, or it could be a 12 on 12 with slate, right? So totally different
Hmm.
arrangements. So a photo often helps an address. We can look it up in Google Maps, that kind of thing. And we almost always can give everybody an answer of the direction to go in if we don't sell the product.
Very cool. Brian's asking, does your Coro have wire mapping printed on the back? I know that your Tune 2 sign does. I assume others do.
So the history of uh, the wire maps on the back. So again, HolidayCoro's started all the Coro props way back, and originally we didn't have anything on the backs, right? And so we had these really complex mini light things with nothing on them, and then we came up with a process of using a marker to mark on the back to do the path.
Hmm.
And then we switched that over to UV printing in most cases, to print the map on the back, so that you actually not only get the map, but you also get pixel count. So it'll say, pixel,
Oh, nice.
48, 29, and it'll show you the pattern. So more than just the magic marker kind of marking it around, plus also
Hmm.
instructions, the model number, production information, all that. So we mostly have switched over to UV. For some of these new props, we may be offering a solution that offers back to the old method of using the markers. It has to do with the
Okay.
productional efficiency, because when you do high volume props, it's not a big deal if you're doing singing faces, because we make pallets of them at a time. We put the material on the machine, we print it, we cut it, we print it, we cut it, and we do it in large volumes. And individual props are hard to make like that at speed. So we'll probably be offering
Hmm.
that as a uh, mark on the back with a marker using the legacy technology, which is ironically what some other people are now using in competitor space, uh,
Hmm.
because it works well on ad hoc designs and stuff. So some props don't necessarily need it. Now I get, when you got a spinner with 1,000 pixels crammed into
Yeah.
36 inches, you need a map, right?
Yeah.
Printing out something from the model is not going to work, but for some things, you just look at the model in X lights or something, and you can usually get it. And the cost saving is quite dramatic. To put the marking on the back is actually surprisingly complicated to get everything to match up, or the process of marking it and doing tool changes and stuff like that. So I know everybody else is doing it almost exactly the same way. Uh,
Hmm.
and so It's just hard to put stuff on the back. So when you're asked to pay for something like marking on the back, think if you need it, because there is a real cost
Okay.
to printing it. So some of these props, not so much. You know, thousand pixel spinners, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
go with that.
That'll just
Don't
you
suffer.
get to like the eight. Yeah, you get into the 800s, like I did take a left turn at Albuquerque. You got to take them all out, get them over again. Rob's asking if you order some snowflakes, how long is the turnaround from the times you order right now to when he gets them?
So we absolutely dominate, and this is not by accident, shipping speed, especially during peak season. So off peak, you can almost be guaranteed that if you order anything, usually even up to like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, it'll ship the same day. We're talking even you make a custom controller order, that's usually less than a
Mhm.
thousand dollars, ship the same day. During peak season, we have our cutoff at 12 p.m. And so all of our team is bonused on how fast they've shipped the orders and also accuracy. And so they have to
Mhm.
ship every single order placed before 12 p.m. that's under $1,500 that same day. So that means that we typically are shipping very fast. Now, that said, with these new props, because our old props, we had 100 and we just make pallets of them and put them up on the shelf and we have to walk over and take them off. There's no production loss. Like you'll see a lot of our competitors in props, they'll typically be running in September, October, 2 to 4 week lags because they're custom making the products on demand,
Mhm.
and they may have limited staff to do that. We will be doing some of that with these custom props. I'm not these custom, these new props, because there's just too many. 800 if you have a pallet. We have a lot of pallet slots, but not that many for just props. So there will be a lag. So the answer to your question is, if you
Mhm.
order normal stock stuff, our website will give you the time frame for shipping. It'll say, usually within 24 hours or 24
Nice.
business hours. Uh, and then if it's really unusual from our new prop line, it may take 2 to 3 days.
Uh, so Charlie's a Halloween guy, Halloween fan. How much of the new 800 is Halloween related?
That is a very good question. I don't know what the exact percentage, and we're usually good with data. I would estimate that probably about 35% to 40% is Halloween related. The
Oh,
rest
nice.
is, I would say, another 35% is probably in Christmas, and then the other is just characters, non-Christmas related things. You know, other
Nice.
other seasons, Jewish holidays, that kind of stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I do.
Firefighter,
Just
military.
so you mentioned Tie Fighters earlier. So is there Star Wars themes here?
Well, we wouldn't sell Star Wars,
No,
but
you
we
would
would sell
not.
some really awesome
'Cause-
space themed items. And we have it. Well,
Yes,
we have on our website, we just added the other day, outer space props, outer space and
outer.
aliens. And so
Yeah,
you may find some vaguely familiar products in those categories.
yeah. I mean, it's not one universe that designs a plane. It's a vast universe out there. I'm sure there's
It
different planets
is.
making the exact same thing. Well
Absolutely.
played. Well played. So for weather considerations, when you all for your hardware, your mounting boxes, they're all waterproof, I assume. And what all goes into making your boxes?
Well, let me clarify some terms because sometimes people say
Yes,
waterproof, and waterproof.
resistant. Yeah,
I know we have IP ratings, which would be more technically
yeah,
correct, but let's just say
yeah,
holistically, waterproof really implies that you can put something in water and like submerge it in water. That water
yeah,
is not going to enter this product at all. And water resistant is usually indicating that it resists the water. So I'll give you an
yeah.
example of something that's water
Mhm.
resistant that could kill you. Your electric meter outside on the outside of your house is not waterproof. You go over to it. If you take a water hose, you can shove a water hose up there and get water inside of it, but it's not designed for that, right? It's designed for rain
Right.
falling on it, and then the water sheets off. And that's exactly what most controllers would be designed for. So all of our controllers are designed to be water
Mhm.
resistant in most cases. And so if you mount them properly, you mount them in a vertical fashion with their cables hanging down, then they will be perfectly fine in any normal circumstance. If you're doing something unusual, water parks, pools, anything like that, reach out to us. Again, we do all kinds of custom solutions. We use UL based solutions for commercial customers, that type of thing. And so if you have some really unusual thing, you're in the polar north and you got to have a controller that works at negative 50 degrees,
Oh,
just let us know. We've done some pretty weird stuff. But for normal people and normal displays, just hang your controllers straight up. Don't lay them on the ground. And
Mhm.
waterproofing is not always as good as you think it is. People always work to make sure everything's really sealed up and tight, and they ask why the controllers don't have gaskets and why everything is not
Ah.
sealed. Well, sealed up means that something is trapped inside. Two things are trapped
Mhm.
inside. One is moisture, and so, for example, you open up a controller in the daytime, and the moisture level is higher, the relative humidity is higher.
Mhm.
That air is trapped inside the controller, and then the temperature drops. It condensates, right? So it's
Mhm.
the reverse of a cold glass outside on the summer day. The water is on the inside instead of the outside. Well,
Ah.
the water will
Mhm.
condensate, and electronics are fine with most humidity. They don't like condensation where there's actual water. So
Yeah.
sealing it up is not a good thing. And also, that most often involves sealing in heat and those types of things. So I'm not a big, huge fan of sealing things up. We do controllers for customers like
Mhm.
that. But yeah, fans, and another little nugget there,
Mhm.
fans, don't use a fan unless it's actually required, because while you don't want them completely sealed up, fans will suck in bugs, dust,
Yeah.
uh, rain, you name it, even with the little filters and all that stuff. We do have controllers where um, a fan is a necessity because we have, let's say, 6 power supplies in a box, and it's just
Ah.
not thermally possible to evacuate the heat. Uh, if you do that, your controller, like all of ours, should have ability to turn the fan on based on temperature. So it's not at least running all the time. So if you have a fan that's running all the time, that's the worst case scenario, because it's always going to be sucking something into the controller. And usually the
Yeah.
stuff outside the controller is worse than the stuff inside the controller. So
Yeah.
make sure you set your settings so that it only turns on when it gets to, let's say, 120 degrees, that kind of thing. Your controller does not need air conditioning like you. It is not having a heat stroke at 120. It seems warm, but it's totally okay. It's not going to catch on fire.
Yeah, I do use one for my projection mapping, but that's because it's in that box. It's 150 degrees because of the power of the lamp and everything. But yeah, you're right. You're gonna bring in other stuff. You are. So for getting started, someone who maybe is going from static to they want maybe be it pixels or be it AC, but they want to use your props. They want to reach out to you. What is the time frame from I'm reaching out to you? You answer the phone. Hey David, we're gonna talk. Here's what I want to you get back. How long does it take for you to get back with me with a plan?
Usually 24, sometimes 48 hours.
Nice,
Yeah. So we don't like to
nice.
leave anything hanging and just dragging out there. Sometimes things can get slower if a customer, I mean, some of these
Mhm.
processes to narrow down a quote take 10, 20, 30 emails back and forth. And so
Okay.
those sometimes can take longer. So what will help is if you're as clear as possible up front, budget and what you want to do, that will help us get to where you need. We could get there within 2 or 3 messages and have you a fully detailed quote, the same day, next day. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. And in
Alan's
terms
asking
of,
if you're good.
on transitioning, like, so if somebody had an existing display, great. Send us
Mhm.
a picture of your current display. Like I said
Oh,
earlier,
nice.
uh, tell us what you have, because that mini light, you don't have to dump everything. We have AC receivers that we can put in that are cheaper than
Mhm.
controllers, and you can still utilize all of those other lights for kind of a background volume to your display. So don't think you have to dump everything to go to RGB. Transition in. We've got plenty of solutions, and they're not
Mhm.
that expensive.
Sounds like a lot of folks are gonna need to be calling you and saying, "Hey, here's what I want. Let's do this," especially with
We
800 new
love
props
that.
coming out.
Give us
Nice.
a call or email us or chat us.
Any Thanksgiving props coming out?
There are a few Thanksgiving things in there. Obviously, Thanksgiving's not a huge thing. Most people at Thanksgiving are sweating it because they can't get their controller or something set up. So most people are
Yeah.
not so sophisticated to be tri-seasonal to go Halloween. Oh, let's try, switch over to Thanksgiving. Bang! I'm ready to switch into Christmas.
Boom.
But we got some stuff there.
See here. Rob's asking if you extend your hours during the Christmas season.
Um, so in terms of the answer is yes, and it varies in different areas because almost all of our employees work overtime in the peak season, And so, like I
Mm,
said, they have to ship every order every single day that's placed before 12. That's a certain amount. And so that may mean some days they work at 6 and some days they're working at 9 or 10. And so, whatever it
mhm,
takes is what we do. We also have external staff that comes in to help us with support. Um, like phone support, that kind of stuff, where you're getting paid support because we offer a variety of different
mhm.
options.
Oh, nice.
So you'll get a reply back on the weekend. We'll be able to do support on the weekends. So yeah, we understand that you're needing support right away, and we would prefer that people would get started earlier than, let's say, the second week of November. But we also are realistic, and we've been doing this for 16 years, so we know that there's just a lot of people. I think with any vendor, you should give them some grace around the last week of October and the last 2
Yeah,
weeks of November. If they haven't responded to your email in a day, don't go nuts and send 3 more emails. It's only gonna
yeah,
make it harder for us. So always start early. If I had to give one piece of advice to everybody, always start early. And then the second
yeah.
piece of advice is plan. Planning is way, way cheaper than fixing mistakes or
Yes,
doing it at the
agreed.
last minute. I mean, yeah. I mean, we've done $250,000 displays in a month, but let me tell you, it's not the cheapest way to do it.
Yeah, you gotta pay for the rush sometimes. Like,
You do.
you can order anything, Best Buy, Amazon, whatever. If you want it at your house tomorrow, you're gonna pay for it to get there.
Hmm.
Carl saying he has two of your controllers, runs your RGB stuff just fine.
Excellent.
He also added that in an earlier comment in his thumbnail, that is your Mega Tree displayed there.
Oh, really? Oh, well,
Yeah, he
thank you.
added it. He
We
had
do. We need to get more customer photos. Once we get the new website rolled out, we're going to try to incorporate more content from customers that is real world, because we get a lot of
yeah,
questions. What does this look like? Now, in our mind, when we're building a mega tree, I can just know what it looks like. I can know if it's going to look right
right.
on a house or not. But I know some people just need to see it. And so we do need
Yep.
to have more content that is actual examples in various different iterations, because a 20-foot mega tree in front of a 10-foot yard deep is different from a 20-foot mega tree
Yeah.
in a 4-acre yard.
Yep. Yeah. Yes. 100% agree. You're gonna have
Mhm.
a huge different depth perception of that. Taylor's asking, can you talk about house outlining mapping options?
Yes. So we have tons of options here. We have two of the major ones. We call them permanent and temporary. So permanent would be our tracking system. So it's basically a box. You put a track up on your house, you screw it in place, you put the lights in there, and we have that in brown and white colors. So that's intended to just be mounted permanently up under your eaves in most case, and that's got spacing. You can put it at 1, 2, 3 inches, whatever you want. Um, and then the second option is temporary. So if you need a way to put up lights, maybe your HOA doesn't allow for that, or you just don't want anything permanently up on your
Oh.
house, we offer pixel pipe. So we came up with this idea years ago to use
Ooh.
PVC pipe, and then we were attaching, strip and some other lights to it
Mm-hmm.
over the years. Then we got the clips. We went from PVC clips to this Lexan fancy clip. Well, we built an entire system around half-inch pipe, a half-inch PVC, US domestic sized pipe, right? Well, people were drilling out PVC pipe because we have the little clips, and they were drilling out the PVC pipe,
Mm-hmm.
which was super hard to do. We said, tell you what, let's just make that out of aluminum. It'll be stiffer, it'll be more accurate. And then we can get it in colors so that it doesn't have reflective qualities. You don't have to paint it and stuff. So you get black. So it's nice and clean. It doesn't reflections
Yeah.
on it. So pixel pipe is absolutely amazing for that. It's not
Mm.
expensive relative to, if you value your time beyond $0, it is way cheaper, and you're less likely to have that drill press flip that piece of PVC around and hit you in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have all the connectors to hook it all together, and so it's super easy. We even have a little jig you can use it to hold the light, and it's basically half-inch pipe cut into like a
Mm-hmm.
C channel like that, and you just put the pixels through it. It has a flat face, and then what that allows you to do is several things. One, you can simply build everything on the ground. So you can build them all in sections, right? This allows you to then build all on the ground, test it all in your garage and your basement, and then just hook them all together as you get up there. And then you put those Lexan clips, this product code 770, up under the house. You only have to do that once. They're UV resistant. They should last years. We have some in testing that have been 5 years with no problems. And you just take that pipe, put it up on the ladder, and pop, and you just pop it into the spots. It also makes it easy. Let's say you get a bad pixel up there. You can just go up there, unscrew the section, and then pull it down. Also, because it's semicircular, it is still half round. You can actually tilt it down. So RGB node's always going to be brightest when it's facing directly into an eyeball. And so if you're up on that second floor, you actually need them facing down at an angle, a couple of degrees, 20, 30-degree angle. As we're on a first floor, you may only have a 5-degree angle. And so you can tilt that pixel pipe at an angle to get it exactly in the direction you want it. It also makes it easy to build house like frames around your window, because we sell the little 90-degree connectors that allow you to pop them in like think of like Lincoln logs with connectors on them. So a whole system around that with connectors and pipe, and we've got pipe in white, black, and gray, the different connectors. So yeah, if you have any questions on that, we're happy to help. If you need a whole house outline done, we do have a very specific process for measuring the dimensions on your house, and we will give you a full house outline, laying everything out, telling you, okay, you need this and you need that. It's not to the degree we used to offer it as a paid service where we CAD draw your house, but it is going to be relatively easier. It'll take that from an 8 complexity, and probably take it down to like a 6 or 7. Because you're not having to worry that all the parts are the ones you need. We'll get you the right connectors for the in between, and put the receivers or controllers where they need to be without problems with links. So all these people that have to have like null pixels and stuff, yeah, that's usually an indication maybe of design issue. So we try to make sure it's as easy and as successful as possible. Also, we don't do any power injection, so no weird stuff. So it's going to be super easy, and you're not going to burn your house down.
Yeah, people are loving it. The comments, Dennis says he loves the pixel pipe. He just needs 6 more feet.
So we do sell it in packages, and there's some reasons for that. And I'm sure he's probably frustrated that we sell it in a big box of like, I think 18 pieces. And there's a reason for that. One is the reason it's the length it is because the shipping containers are that wide. And that's the widest we could get into a shipping container. And that's why it's kind of a seemingly random length. We also had to make that length under our UPS shipping list length. So once you go over a certain amount, a product can be $35 to ship, and then all of a sudden it becomes $160 to ship. So we can't make the product too long. And whenever you're shipping something like that, you need some structural strength, because if you have a piece of aluminum, extruded aluminum, despite the fact that it is relatively strong, the UPS guys are still stronger, and they'll just put the packages on top of the other box.
Yeah.
So when we put them in a box together like that, what happens is that means that they're less likely to bend. Actually, I shouldn't say less, like never likely to bend, because we never have problems. If you have a unique circumstance and you need a few more feet, let us know. We do have cut down sections that we ship that won't be the full lengths, like 8 or 7 feet or 6 feet. We can work these. Just contact our customer service, call, or send an email, and we'll be happy to help you out in some way. I can't say it's going to be the same exact price, because you end up with you basically have to ship these boxes anyway. So anyway.
Yeah, Taylor likes them all. Likes them all. So neighbor has it. He's going to order some from you this year.
Excellent.
Very cool. And then let's see if we find Rob's comment again. Oh yeah, he wants to know, for customization, do they call you, email you?
I would say the number one way to get in touch with us is first go to our website. Someone just navigate over here and give you the exact right place to go. So in the upper right-hand corner of our website is a contact us link. I know it looks very unassuming, but behind that contact link is a bunch of different forms. So the very top link, it says project design. Where do I start? Help me design my project. Do yourself a favor and fill that out. That will prevent 2 or 3 emails alone, because we're going to get all the information up front, because sometimes customers think we just know what they're building. And so we build stuff for, theme parks. And we also build stuff for, a small house in a in the middle of nowhere, right? So we need to know, is this a commercial, residential? Is it, are you upgrading? Maybe you already have equipment we need to know about. What time
Hmm.
frame, the budget, if you have specific requirements. So see that link right there, project design and design questions right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll bring you
Right.
to the form and just fill that out. It'll get all your phone number, your email address, and if you'd rather be called or emailed, uh, that is a good starting place because we like to record everything. Uh, we typically try not to do too much design in phone. I will say sometimes things are so complex it's just easier to pick up the phone because if we
Hmm.
come back next year and we need to look through and say, well, what did we do here? We need that context. And again, it's not uncommon for most quotes to have at least 15 emails back and forth between the customer and us. It's not entirely unheard of to have 50 sometimes. So that provides us the history of what's going on. And if it happens in a phone call, sometimes that's not ideal. It's not saying we won't call you. Sometimes it
Yeah.
is. We get to like 20 emails and like, oh, we'll just pick up the phone. I think we need it's too complex or too large or something
There
like
you
that.
go. And Carl saying when his current stuff fails, he's going to switch over to your stuff. Very nice. Let's see here. I love the controller boxes and the tray inside that shows where everything goes.
The tray. I wonder what they're referring to.
I don't even know. Monty says that sounds good. He'll be reaching out. Yeah, make sure you guys are putting in Holiday Coro to enter the giveaway. Jim's nailing that down. Very cool. Let's see here. So, new website's going to come out soon. You got stuff for every holiday. You have some space artifacts that are going to be on there, some
Hmm.
dinosaurs, a couple things for Thanksgiving. How excited is your team for this new venture?
I think they're excited for the money.
Ah,
As you can
gotcha,
imagine,
gotcha.
it's a little slow in April and not so busy then. And of course, things are picking up. So, well, everybody, everybody here has been here a long time. We're actually running a a thread on our Facebook post of all of our employees. Every week we put an employee out there.
Oh,
And our longest term employee has been here 9 years. So we've had our shortest termed employee, including our employee in China, is 2 years. And that's a person here.
oh,
So
nice.
that's the shortest link that anybody's ever been here. And so all the people here are really jazzed about their job. They like Holiday Coro. We run a very good operation. We try to treat everybody
Hmm.
right here. Um, and but everybody shows up for the money. I'm not kidding myself. They like Christmas lights and stuff, but and so we treat our people well, and they are focused on getting your product out ASAP.
Fair enough. In the chat today, we have a ton of folks who have been past contestants, future contestants, and current contestants for this year, this upcoming season of the Great Christmas Light Fight. We all attend conventions. I know many of these folks in here from conventions. We have a new conventions coming out next year. It's going to be in Philadelphia. It's going to be a Trans World Split Off. How many conventions a year do you go to?
I will say we used to go to quite a few, and in fact, I used to teach at quite a few of them.
Hmm.
We used to have one here in Houston that was done by the Texas group. Um, it basically came down to cost effectiveness.
Okay.
We didn't find enough return on our investment for the conventions. I know, and I have a contractor here that works for us during the off season, loves the conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
It probably is more me than anything, and I'm a numbers guy, and so
Yeah.
it has to make sense. And I think there's a time and a place for that. And it may be something we add in the future, but we in the past just haven't had sufficient return, either in exposure or actual sales. And it's really hard to sell a
Fair enough.
product at a convention because when you sell hundreds, or in fact, even before we add these extra 800 props, we have over 1,000 SKUs. You just
Hmm.
can never bring the right products for everybody or the right
Fair.
number. And it's also hard to work with customers to sell those products because they come in off of their training, and then everybody's there for it, and then yeah. So there's
Yeah.
just a lot of logistical factors, and I'm not against them in a bad way, but just it's got to be cost effective for us.
Fair enough. And speaking of Great Christmas Light Fight contestants, Slackers, you got it wrong. It's supposed to be Holiday Coro, just hashtag Coro. Make sure you enter correctly for us now, by gosh. The ultimate saying he uses half-inch PVC pipe, but when that fails, he'll be switching over to yours as well. Very
Oh,
nice.
if he's got square nodes, here's an interesting thing that sometimes people don't really consider.
Square, yeah.
Yeah, square. So one place we use square nodes on house outlines, actually, we'll take our netting material, let's say in either well, not for the squares, but 2-inch, 1.9-inch. If you want to do icicles or something, uh, use a matrix around your house instead of just a single row of pixels. Then you can do VU meters. If you make it 8 pixels high, you can do text scrolling across it. You can do snow. You can do icicles that are
Nice.
all software generated. If you just put a matrix along your gutter or your soffit, you can do a lot more things with it than just a single row of pixels. Now, I get that, especially if it's permanent or something, that's not a thing, but consider that's a great way to use those square pixels, because our pixel pipe does require bullets for that, and not possible to switch those.
Fair enough. Just one more time. Dayton Lights, you're doing it wrong. Hashtag Coro. Hashtag, it won't accept hashtag HolidayCoro. Hashtag Coro. Just like Rob did and just like Mark Wilson did. Boom. Uh, all one word. Hashtag CORO. All one word. Just Coro. That's right. You got it right there for me, Chad. I appreciate that about you. Late to the party, but how does Coro stand up to our Kansas and Oklahoma wins? I
Sure.
don't have. Go ahead.
So first of all, again, all of our products are designed for outdoors. We don't really design anything for indoors. So controllers, cables, lights, pixels, props, plastics, UV products, or the products are UV infused on the plastics, that type of thing. So we've been doing this for
Mhm.
16 years. We know what will last, what won't last. So specifically ask about wind. That's not necessarily always the prop. That has more to do with mounting. And so every one of those situations is going to be different on how you mount a prop, where it's mounted on the house, on the roof, in a yard, on a
Mhm.
fence. If you're ever not sure, reach out to us. We're happy to give you some advice. Or if you send us pictures of you're thinking of doing this, we'll give you a kind of thumbs up, or like, yeah, I don't think that's going to work out for you. Because we see the pictures come back of stuff, damaged or stuff because of environmental issues that are beyond our control, because of the way they're mounted, and we're happy to help customers with that.
We have another New Zealander tuning in for asking about international shipping rates.
Absolutely, right on the website. I can't help you
Fair
with your
enough.
exchange rate, but we will absolutely send you product, and we do that all the time.
Yep, he says Dylan says he knows you slipped to Australia and assumes New Zealand is fine, and it is. So let's do some giveaways. What do you
All
think?
right, who is
So
it?
so we're going to give away the two gift cards, two $100 gift cards. If you're the winner, email me christmasoncrestline@gmail.com. That way I can verify you are the person who won, and your email that you emailed me from matches up to your YouTube account. And then I'll hook you up with David here. And then we were going to do a Patreon only giveaway for my Patreon members. We're going to give away some merch. So let me share my big old screen here. Oh, wrong button. Go to present. Let's see here. Share screen. I want to do my giveaway tool. Boom. All right. So we have 30 entries. We've had probably 200 people come and go in this video so far. 30 of you have stuck around that have put in Holiday Coro. But looking at the numbers, there's a lot of you who haven't. So I'm gonna give you about 20 more seconds to put in hashtag Coro, just like Just Curious did for us. So you can enter on any of our sites through Instagram, through Facebook, and through YouTube. Get about 10 more seconds to put in that hashtag Coro for me. Let's see. I think everybody, boom, hashtag Coro. I think everybody's doing a bit of Scott here. Yes, Scott Dries is in the chat. See, boom. All right, we're up 34. There we go. Oh, more people are tuning in. Put in hashtag Coro for me, folks. There's Frank Cash tuning in, Thunderbird Green Jet Tea, otherwise known as Frank Cash, one of our OG Patreon folks. Put that in there for me. Give you
Oh,
just a
I
few
saw his
more
dog.
seconds.
I gotta show you. So we got our own dog. We are a warehouse dog here. Yeah, not his dog,
Ah, nice.
but same model, right?
There we go. All right, seeing no more entries coming in, we're going to go ahead and draw. This is for a $100 gift certificate gift card to HolidayCoro.com. Here we go. Who's going to be? Who is it going to be? It is going to be Janice. Look at Janice.
All right, Janice.
Janice. Okay, but you know what, folks? We're not done. Janice, just like the next winner's going to need to, you need to email me, christmasoncrestline@gmail.com. Here's one more, another $100 gift card to HolidayCoro.com. Let's draw one more winner. It's going to be
Survey says
Slankered Lights. Look at Slankered Lights coming in from Oklahoma.
I think he needs that $100. Look at all those lights.
He is. Yeah. He is a current contestant, or will be a contestant on this year's Great Christmas Light Fight. Okay, so now it's time. Yeah. Don't know if he won or not. He can't tell us that. But you know what? Just being on there is awesome. Awesome enough.
That is true.
One more to do here real quick. I don't want slides, not a slide. I want a where is is this it? This is it. Okay. So this is going to be who is going to win for our Patreon only giveaway. So folks that don't know, if you are a Patreon member, you automatically get entered into a giveaway once a month for free merch. If you want to know what the merch is, you can look down on the scroll down where it says the videos, the live, everything for that. YouTube also gives you some, takes you to our store. You get one, if you're a $3 member, you get a 1 entry, $5, 2 entries, $10 member, you get 5. And if you're like Scott Dries or Laura from Old Swifty, they are $25 a month members and they get 13 entries. Let's see who wins. Let's see who's going to win. And it's going to be Laura John. John, you go to our store, go to our shop, and you can have anything you want on there. Just tell me what it is you want, and I'll order it. I do need to know if you want a shirt. I need to know what size and what color, and if it's for you or for your spouse. But congratulations to John. Man, we had fun today.
Yeah.
We had a great time. Congratulations. Congratulations. Boom. Rob, you just missed out. Just missed out. So before we let you go, what advice, other than the 2 tidbits you've already give, which is plan and start early, for folks who want to get a hold of you, like this was an awesome interview. They do a ton of customization and they got 800 props coming out. I got to email this guy tomorrow. What suggestions do you have for him?
Just use the form, or if you like old school email, just sales@holidaycoro.com. Or if you like that phone, we've got some nice customer service people. They'll answer your phone, get all your information, and put all that in, and one of us will reach back out. My advice is always just planning is cheaper. Start early. If I had one piece of advice, start early. Don't wait till the last minute. Yeah. Don't wait to pull that controller out and you're like, oh, and don't move the. Just use all of those products well before you need them. Get them all set up, warmed up, hooked up. Maybe don't update that X lights the week before your show goes live for stuff like that. Limit the number of changes.
My yearly advice is always knock, because we store ours outside. Like always knock on your controller boxes before you open them, because you never know where the wasp nest is going to be at that year. Rob's got a great question. He's thinking ahead. I know you are nice enough to give $100 gift cards, any discount codes. Well, Rob,
I don't have any.
Guess what?
What's that?
Go ahead. Don't just say I'm going to be a new affiliate coming up, so you guys can do some shopping on Holiday Coro with me as an affiliate. But coming up here pretty soon. But go ahead. I interrupted you.
Get in touch with us. We're also going to be doing some special pricing on the new props right as they initially release to try to get them rolling out as quick as possible before things get super busy here. So watch our Facebook and you'll see information on that. So there's some shipping details.
Very cool. And Janice is saying, send my email. Very cool, Janice. That's awesome of you. Need both winners to email me. But well, Robert already have your information. So I guess you don't need to email me because I already know your shipping information because he just ordered a couple of hats. So we're good there. Any last advice for us before we let you go?
No, enjoy it. Years
Yeah.
ago, just I know this is a little bit of a detour.
Yeah.
Years ago, we did a survey and we asked, why do you actually do this? Because it costs money, takes time, and the number one reason was people like to engage with their community. So
Yeah.
it's weird if you stand out on your driveway in a Santa suit by yourself with nothing. That's a little weird. But you put 50,000 lights around you, and now it's perfectly normal. So I think it's a great way to
Well
engage
played.
with your community. I know some people do that in different ways. And then the second reason was we got people who say, I don't care if anybody ever sees these lights. In fact, we do displays in the middle of Nebraska nowhere that I
Yeah.
can't imagine more than 10 people ever see. And it doesn't matter to these people because they love their own display. And then the other part
Mhm.
is some people just love the technical part of that. I know we got a
Oh,
lot
that's
of techie
true.
people who just like the tinkering and the building and that and the
Yeah.
whole complexity of it. So enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, it's a great hobby. You bring a lot of
Yeah.
happiness to people. I know sometimes it's hard
Mhm.
to remember that. And getting that note on your door, and you're like from the little 7-year-old
Yes.
kid who goes, "Oh, I love your display," or when you're mowing your
Yeah.
lawn in the middle of summer, going, are y'all guys gonna do the Christmas light display again this year? My grandma
Yeah.
didn't get to see it last year. That's why you do it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it,
Yeah.
and you are bringing happiness. I know sometimes you're out there on the ladder and it's cold and whatever, and you think, "Is this
Mhm.
really worth it?" Yeah, you are making
Yeah.
people better, and the world needs more people that make it a better place.
Yeah, my favorite part is we have a photo cut out, it's like an 8 foot. You got the faces cut out. Just put your face in there. You instantly turn into Santa
Mhm.
Claus and a couple elves. And we have people that come by every year. That's their family Christmas card that year. The kids obviously get
Mm.
older. They can see the changes. It's neat. I just love being a part of people's family traditions. Like, hey, we come here every year. Or we take a tour bus over here every year. That's what I like.
I love
It's
it
fun.
too. Keep
All right.
doing
Well,
it, folks.
thanks for joining us, folks. Next week we're going to have an affiliate show. It is time to start decorating, so we're going to go through all the affiliates and all the different discounts and things I can provide you to do your show. That's next week's show. Hang around for me for a second. Don't leave. But hey, folks, we'll see you next week. I appreciate your subscription to the channel and doing all those things you're supposed to do to help YouTube channel grow. Easy for me to say. I'm Charlie, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.